Hello and welcome, Susan and Morioh, to another video. Tonight, we actually have a guest on.
Yeah, we have a guest with us. S.A. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much. I'm SA, and I'm like a really big fan of the channel, what you guys do. So
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you,
for
thank
having
you.
me on.
Well, the feeling's mutual, I say. And yeah, we just decided to have you on tonight.
Today's
So-
topic is gonna be very interesting. Jotaro Kujo.
Oh, where do we begin?
Well, let's begin with, let's just say his father. I don't know. We don't see much of I don't know how to say his name. I'm really bad with Japanese names.
Jotaro Kujo?
Sadao Kujo. Sadao Kujo. Let's start with him. We don't see him in part 3, obviously. What we know about him is he's a jazz musician on tour. That's all we know. And he's constantly on tour. I don't think he's divorced to Holly or anything. He's just on tour. But it's kind of weird he doesn't want to check in on his sick wife and his son once in a while.
Right. And from what we see of Jotaro, I'd assume that Sadao wasn't there a lot of Jotaro's childhood. And speaking of his childhood, we saw that he was a good guy. We really just a good.
He was a good kid, you know. Holly had a lot of her memories with Jotaro, like him being on the track team, graduating, I think, middle school or something.
Yeah, and one of the flashbacks, we actually saw him get flowers for Holly, which is
Jotaro
very
really
different than.
At the end of the day, he really loves his mom. I don't know, but his dad, you know what's weird? In part 3, okay, part 3, we know that Araki's beginning and everything. Jotaro could be he's a very bland character in part 3. He doesn't have much personality, as they say it. All he does is, yari yari does ora ora ora, that stuff.
Yeah, he seems very almost static in times, but you get little hints here and there of his underlying personality, him watching Clint Eastwood's video, which is why, or videos and movies, which is why he kind of acts like that.
He does make a lot of references to Clint Eastwood. Yeah, you're right.
And there's little tidbits and stuff, but in my opinion, we need that
extra
push, that extra mile.
What I felt, Araki developed him after, he didn't develop him in part 3. He just talked about him, how he felt happened before part 3. He's developed, which, you know what I mean,
Say, AK, SA. Do you prefer part 4, Jojo?
Oh yeah, I prefer part 4 Jojo over part 3.
Yeah, part 4 Jotaro. I actually prefer him over 3.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that case. I mean, part 3 Jotaro did really cool things, but part 4 as a character, objectively, I do think he's just a more mature, wiser version of Jotaro. So
exactly.
Yep, exactly.
I feel he fits the mentor character better.
Yeah, I like him more as a mentor character, and it's cool to see his interaction with Jolene also in part 6. But for now, let's stick mainly to part 3. Let's just run down main points from part 4 and 6, because that'd be a very long video if we just run down all the points.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, him in part 3, you see this real angst and all this
angsty teen
rebellion and stuff.
He's built like a brick wall.
Personality of a 19-year-old body.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that Joe Star jeans.
The Joe Star jeans. Jonathan's large. Oh my god. I'm sorry, SA. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Jonathan's. God. Jojo's bizarre.
Alright.
But yeah, he has the personality of a 19-year-old, even though he has the body of his great grandfather. But Like,
literally, of course, I'll take that literally.
And
he's,
how he's really antisocial, which is weird since I don't know. He's technically everybody. He's like the popular kid in school, except he doesn't. He isn't the popular kid, if you know what I mean. Like, you know,
he's
he's
like
just
he's
the
popular,
juvenile.
But he doesn't want to be.
Yeah,
Almost.
you're right. He just
You
wants
get,
to
you
be.
get that sense. I feel like him being antisocial, and making like strong connections throughout part 3 with like Polnareff, with his grandpa, Abdul and Kakyoin, even Iggy to an extent. Like him making strong connections with them, it means more because of the fact he's antisocial. Like,
It does, yeah.
I
it
imagine
does.
like it takes, yeah.
He really got along with Kakyoin because Kakyoin was also antisocial, but like in a different way.
Mm-hmm. That was because like it was a stand and like nobody could see it, so like he felt lonely. As for Polnareff, Jotaro and Polnareff, like, you know, we established that in our opinion, Jotaro or Polnareff is like Jotaro's Jobro, and so like, you saw that connection in like flashbacks in part 5 and like throughout part 3, especially the ending.
You know what
and,
I realized?
Joseph's his grandpa.
You know what I realized? And Essay, tell me if you agree with this. I feel like the Crusaders are all like a bunch of lonely people, like together. You know, Joseph being lonely without like Holly being in Japan. Jotaro, you know, as we established, he was antisocial. Kakyoin also not having many friends, and Polnareff after his sister's death. And I don't know what to say for Abdul though.
It could be argued that he was also like kind of alone because we never saw any mention of his like family or anything of that sort.
And also Iggy, he's also like a lone wolf.
But
Yeah,
I call the Crusaders lonely, and I would call them more bored than lonely, I guess. It seemed like, without the journey they took in Stardust Crusaders, they just kind of seemed like they were just going through life, I guess. Like, not really doing their own way.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's this like central theme like of that sort throughout like part 3 and like each part for that matter. And you know, I feel like the best in part 3, like that theme of being alone and like kind of like the lone wolf, like making connections and stuff is like best shown through Jotaro, especially since like, you know, the whole antisocial thing and like how he made like strong connections.
Do
with
you
the people
think
he was with.
has Joseph visited Jotaro like I imagine he hasn't visited Jotaro many times. Like he probably visited him a few times, but like not many. I'm pretty sure this is like the first time in Stardust Crusaders where he spent a lot of like days with Jotaro and everything. Like get to actually get along with him, you know, get to know him.
That's what I imagined. Like that Jotaro and like Joseph have like physically met each other. It's just like Jotaro was probably like too young to remember or something of that sort.
Yeah, same with like Suzy-Q. Suzy-Q, she loved her grandson also. You know how she like cherished his photo and everything. And I feel like in part 4 they had like a really strong bond. Joseph and Jotaro, like they had a really strong bond and everything.
And speaking of like bonds and like family and stuff, you know, Jotaro's like legacy is like shown through Jolene.
It is shown through Jolene. It is.
What I've noticed about like the second like parts 4 through 6 their JoJo's is that they show like parallels with their predecessors. Like you see aspects of like Jonathan and Dio in Giorno. You see like aspects of Joseph in Josuke. You see aspects of Jotaro in Jolene. Especially since like part 6 is like plot. I mean the start of it like it really does mirror part 3. Like think about it.
Also
the main
see
JoJo.
Araki's repeating that with the SBR universe. But also part 5 Jotaro.
Yeah.
I can't say much.
We get a little bit of time.
But of
One
course,
thing I can't say though,
we can't
his outfit was
mention.
great.
We have to mention his son, of course.
Son.
No, do not think of that son. I'm talking about Koichi.
It's okay, fine. Alright.
Rest in peace, Kakyoin's egg.
But you know, Koichi.
I have a question to ask you.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Jotaro outfit, though?
Ooh, SA, what is yours?
Oh, really, kind of a little unpopular on my part, but I really like his part 6 outfit. It's like, it's just cute,
Ooh.
honestly.
I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you. His Part 6 outfit is just so fashionable.
Especially with like Jojo, I like Jojo on the side, that just does it for me. Like, that's
Yep.
Yeah, man, I feel outnumbered. I'm the only one who likes his part 5 one.
I mean, his
Part
part
5,
5 one.
it's kind of, it feels a bit too samey from his Part 4 outfit, but
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it just like I just like the aesthetic of it. Like it's like his part 4 one, but just like the button in the middle and like the symbols in the hat are just like better.
You know what scars me at night, guys? Every night I think of Part 5, Part 3 Jotaro. That thing is scary. What the heck?
Oh god. AK, what kind of image did you put into my head? God.
But yeah, Jotaro actually thinks Koichi is a reliable guy, and don't get me wrong, he is a reliable guy.
That is it. That is just that's Koichi.
But what about Josuke? Like, you know, as we said before, he takes on the mentor role.
Definitely. Like you see how in the rat fight, he taught Josuke how to like use those bullets with his stand, and Josuke
yeah.
like used that in his fight with Kira when he launched the glass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You see, like he took like what Jojo taught him and like he applied it, which is so like cool to see. And he was even like a mentor to really like a lot of people that he met like after part 3 anyway, like Josuke, Koichi.
You know,
the
I
list
guess
goes on.
honestly, you can say.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
And Jolene too.
But I really love the bond Jotaro had with Josuke. You know.
It was almost like Jotaro was his uncle, which is kind of funny because like technically Josuke is Jotaro's uncle, but a little bit of irony there.
Jolene, I think the reason he left Jolene is because he didn't want her to get in danger. But
And like, with the threat of like Poochie and like all the remaining stand users and standeros, like there was a really big chance that Jolene could have actually gotten hurt.
so that's why he left his family. He didn't leave his family for dolphins.
only about like, he also left his wife behind too, and Jolene.
Yeah.
So he did not hold them to get harmed anyway. So.
It's more a necessity. But the biggest tragedy in all of JoJo is that Jojo wasn't able to meet Foo Fighters.
Oh my god, yes! He would love Foo Fighters. Hey,
Jolene, I
this is
demand
your
you to
friend.
marry this phytoplankton right now.
Meanwhile,
If
honestly,
you see the dialogue, that is just so funny. Between the two, that's funny.
wait, I have
Oh,
this
I love
potential theory. Could Jotaro, maybe the reason Jotaro came to Green Dolphin Prison wasn't because of Jolene, but because the prison was called Green Dolphin Prison.
On our next episode of Game Theory.
He doesn't. See,
well-
honestly, he annoys him. Honestly, pretty much annoys everyone in Part 6.
You could tell that Jojo like
It's like,
he
what
doesn't
the-
approve 100%.
Shut up, honestly. You're in the middle of a life and death situation.
Made in Heaven is happening, but still, can I marry Jolene?
So yeah. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, he just really does have character to him, objectively. Whether or not you like it is completely up to you, but he does have character, and he just is a JoJo, to be frank. Yeah.
Yep. Well, kids, remember, if you want to free your daughter at prison, make sure it's a dolphin prison. And that's not just a theory, that's a Morioh citizen theory.
We'll see you next time.